So question, what upcoming Switch RPGs have you most excited? Let me know in the comments, because today we're looking at 10 upcoming RPGs you cannot miss. Every single one of these confirmed for Switch 2, and even a few are hitting Switch 1 as well. I'll call those out as we go. But this is about the future, the RPGs that are going to define the beginning of the Switch 2 era. Now, if you do enjoy videos like this, Switch reviews, performance breakdowns, lists, hidden gems, do a smaller channel a favour and hit subscribe. It helps a huge amount, and we are here every day covering everything Nintendo Switch. Now, let's get into it. The Adventures of Elliot, The Millennium Tales is an action RPG from Square Enix, and there's already a demo available on the Switch 2 eShop that you need to check out. Now, you play as title Elliot, summoned by the king to investigate ancient ruins beyond the last surviving city. Now, that's kind of the setup, but it quickly becomes apparent there's more going on here than just archaeology. For me though, from the demo, combat is where it's at. You've got a sword, bow and bombs, and you can swap gear mid-fight. It is just great fun. It definitely starts simple, but the first dungeon, it's already showing signs of depth, boss patterns, puzzle mechanics, platforming, and some genuine challenge. You're also then joined by a character called Faye, a fairy companion who has abilities like teleportation and looks to be a big part of that puzzle solving. That character can even be controlled by a second player in co-op. Visually then, it's stunning, possibly the best HD 2D game yet, and performance is mostly locked at 60 on Switch 2. Now, it's still early, but this one, it's already feeling like a Zelda-style adventure with real potential. Check out my demo review in the pinned comments. Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D is a pair of classic turn-based RPGs, reimagined in the same beautiful engine used for the Dragon Quest 3 remake. And having played the recent free upgrade for that on Switch 2, which looks stunning and runs flawlessly by the way, I'm even more excited now to revisit these. Well, the stories are simple but timeless. You're a lone hero, setting out to defeat an ancient evil, rescue a kingdom in peril, and slowly build up your party along the journey. There's very little handholding, but that's part of the appeal. It trusts you to explore, talk to NPCs, and really just figure things out on your own. They are short by today's standards, but they still hold up. It's a simple party building, towns, dungeons, and turn-based battles rotation. But there's just a charm and rhythm to them that newer games rarely hit. This is just pure traditional JRPG structure done with modern polish. The only disappointment, while it's coming to both Switch 1 and 2, there's no upgrade path between versions. That's not a huge deal if you're going digital, but for physical collectors it stings because the Switch 2 version is just a game key card. Still, look, if the final release matches what we've seen from Dragon Quest 3, this could be one of the best of the year from Square Enix. Persona 3 Reload is a bold remake of one of Atlus's most iconic JRPGs, and it's blending turn-based combat, social sim mechanics, and a calendar system where every single in-game day matters. I actually played and reviewed this on PlayStation, find that video below, but here you're playing as a new transfer student who discovers a hidden hour between each day, that's called the Dark Hour, where normal people turn into coffins and monsters roam the streets. It is dark, it's weird, it's philosophical, in a way only Persona can pull off. The big change though with Reload compared to the original is how it all flows. The dorm, school, town areas, just all locations are now fully explorable in third person instead of being locked to menus. It is a massive upgrade. Unlike future entries as well, this one has a single dungeon, Tartarus, but I love it. It's a giant tower that shifts each night. Expect here though to be managing a full party, fusing personas, and diving into a whole lot of turn-based battles. The game as well, I've got to say, looks and sounds incredible. My only concern here is the DLC doesn't seem to be included in any version, not even the incredibly expensive deluxe or ultimate editions. Now, they do say it will be available separately at launch, but if you were expecting it bundled in like I was, just keep that in mind when it goes to purchasing. Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection was just announced during the latest Nintendo Direct, and even though details are still light, that reveal trailer, it got my attention. Now this one's set in a divided world where two kingdoms are on the edge of war. You'll be playing as an heir to the throne, who also happens to be the last remaining Rathalos rider in the kingdom. Now from what I've seen, it seems a life-changing event occurs and it sends you beyond the Meridian. From there, it's a full-on journey to uncover the truth behind these strange occurrences that are threatening both realms. Now visually, for me, this is where I think it's interesting. I'm getting a mix of Zelda and almost Fire Emblem vibes. You know, stories has always looked very different for the series, but this one, yeah, it stands out. Not much has been shown either regarding the combat yet, but if it builds on what Stories 2 did, expect turn-based battles, monster bonding, big cinematic encounters, and yeah, this could be something special. I will definitely be there. It's coming in 2026, and I cannot wait. Final Fantasy Tactics: The Ivalice Chronicles is a full remaster of apparently one of the greatest strategy RPGs ever made. Now it's set in the Kingdom of Ivalice, a land torn apart by politics, power struggles, and the fallout of a war between rival noble houses. Now you play as Ramza, a young noble that's basically caught in the middle of all of this. But from what I hear, this isn't your typical Final Fantasy story. It's darker, it's more grounded, it's full of shifting loyalties. Regarding combat then, it's built around grid-based strategy, so expect elevation, turn order, and class abilities. All of that stuff matters. You'll be building a party then from over 20 job types. You'll be mixing skills. You'll even be taming creatures like chocobos to bring into battle. Now there are two versions included as well. There's a classic mode with the original visuals, and then the enhanced mode with new graphics, full voice acting, and refined mechanics. On Switch 2, you can expect higher frame rates and improved resolution. And best of all, with this one, there's a free upgrade if you buy the digital or physical Switch 1 version. Sadly, no Switch 2 physical at all. For some, this probably shouldn't feature on an RPG list, but I think it's absolutely deserving of its place. Those games, Yakuza Kiwami and Kiwami 2, these are full remakes of the original Yakuza games. They're packed with story, gear upgrades, side quests, and a lot of them. And look, sure, the combat's real-time brawling, but the structure is just pure RPG. Open world exploration, random battles, character growth, emotional narrative, it's just all here. Now in terms of story, you're stepping back into the shoes of Kiryu, a former Yakuza who's pulled back into the criminal underworld after a 10-year prison sentence. It's gritty, melodramatic, and packed with these side quests and missions that veer from kind of like deadly serious to just completely unhinged. Kiwami 1 as well, worth noting, launched on Switch 1 last year, and honestly, it was a surprisingly strong port. The frame rate had a few wobbles here and there, but it held up, and it finally brought the series to a Nintendo audience. What makes it a bit of a shame here, though, is that Kiwami 2, after doing such good work with Kiwami 1, is skipping Switch 1 entirely and going Switch 2 only. To make things even more complicated as well, reports suggest there will be a discount for the Switch 2 release of Kiwami 1 for those who already own the game on Switch 1. But what does discount mean? Is it the price of a coffee or a whole new game with a 10% discount? Right now it's not clear, and that definitely worries me. Hopefully it lands closer to a simple upgrade fee, not a second full purchase, but yeah, time will only tell. Octopath Zero is a turn-based RPG and the next big entry in Square Enix's HD 2D RPG series, and it looks like a major shift for the franchise. This time around, you're not choosing from 8 preset characters. Instead, you're creating your own protagonist and setting out across a war-torn continent in search of revenge. Along the journey, you'll be rebuilding your destroyed hometown. That is right, this one adds town building to the usual mix of exploration and story. Expect though to recruit characters, gather resources, and slowly bring your settlement back to life. So think placing buildings, decorations, and restoring even lost villages along the journey. Combat then still uses the break and boost system, so expect to exploit weaknesses, manage boost points, and time your attacks. But now you're building 8 character parties with both a front and back row. It is promising to be faster, more tactical, and it seems you can expect way more strategy compared to previous entries. From the trailer then as well, for me, the visuals are exactly what I expected. Absolutely stunning HD 2D, and yeah, from what I've seen, some of the best environmental detail in the series so far. It's also worth noting then as well, if you played Champions of the Continent on mobile, this one will actually feel familiar. It's basically been rebuilt, but as a proper console RPG with a new script, full voice acting, and more narrative depth. I can't say I touched the mobile game personally, but I'm definitely excited for this one. The Legend of Heroes Trails Beyond the Horizon is the latest in Falcom's long-running RPG series, and yeah, I love this series. This one continues the Calvert arc, with Van and his team pulled into a high-tech training exercise that quickly it spirals into something far more dangerous. As the continent as well prepares for its first space launch, the story starts digging into the core mysteries of the world itself. It's promising to be a big, ambitious 20th anniversary entry for the series. Combat then is classic Trails, turn-based, tactical, and built around positioning, combo setups, and powerful abilities. It will start simple, no doubt, but once the systems open up, it is seriously satisfying. Now, it's coming to both Switch 1 and 2, but the Switch 2 physical edition is another game key card situation, and so far there's no word on whether an upgrade path will be available. I am, again though, a massive fan of this series, so I will be there day one without question. I cannot wait to see it on Switch 2 because recent entries have definitely had compromises on the Switch 1, and I'm kind of hoping that now is a thing of the past. Final Fantasy VII Remake is one of the most visually demanding games on this list, and it's coming to Switch 2. How well it holds up on the new hardware is still a big question, but everything from the trailer suggests it's going to be a great fit. Now, for those who don't know, this isn't just a remake, it completely reimagines the Midgar section of the original game as a full-length entry. So expect here, though, in difference to that original as well, real-time combat mixed with tactical commands. There's going to be tons of cinematic set pieces, and yeah, there's a new level of depth for the characters. It is incredibly flashy, it's full of moments that hit hard, and yeah, basically it's incredible. I actually wasn't originally sold back when this originally released on the idea of one game becoming free, but I think it works. And yeah, it gives the universe just room to breathe, and I think Final Fantasy VII, if any entry, deserves that. Best of all, Square Enix have confirmed the entire remake trilogy is coming to Switch 2, and that in itself is a massive win. Elden Ring Tarnished Edition is no question the most demanding game on this entire list, and it's a full-blown action RPG. And this isn't just a reimagining or a condensed edition, it's a complete game. The entire open world, every boss, every enemy, and the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC, it's all here. You know, From Software's world design is famously intricate with dynamic lighting, huge draw distances, and real-time combat that actually hinges on timing and precision. So if anything's going to stress test the Switch 2, this is it. The game even struggles on PS5 at times, but if they pull it off, it's going to be a landmark moment, not just for the hardware, but because Elden Ring is arguably one of the defining RPGs of the decade. It is dark, beautiful, punishing, and unforgettable. Now the story itself, cryptic. It's told through atmosphere, item descriptions, and strange encounters. But that mystery is a huge part of the appeal, that's why I love it. Not a lot else to add, honestly. It's a masterpiece, and I cannot wait to take it for a spin on Switch 2. It's honestly not a game I ever thought we'd even see on the system. But yeah, it's coming in 2025, and it's nearly here. And that for me is 10 of the biggest RPGs heading to Switch 2, plus a few you'll find on Switch 1 as well. But this list is far from exhaustive. We didn't even get to like Pokemon Legends, Inazuma 11, Ys 10 Nordics, and honestly this list just keeps on growing. So what RPGs have you most excited? Switch 1 or Switch 2? Let me know in the comments. And if you did enjoy this video, do a smaller channel a favour, hit subscribe so you don't miss what's next. Also, if you can drop a like, that helps too. And yeah, I'll see you back here tomorrow for more Switch coverage. Thanks for watching, cheers all.